Good afternoon, America, and good morning, Australia. Welcome to the very first Southern Nevada Sports News on VegasAllNetRadio.com. Welcome to my co-host, as per normal, Jeff Belknap. Welcome, mate.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm very well, thanks. Very well. So first time in this time slot, so very exciting for us.
Yes, sir.
We've done a few shows on a different network. We're very excited to amalgamate the Vegas Lions radio show into Southern Nevada Sports News. So exciting times and big week for us. So.
Yes, it is. And you know what? I think we might had our other co-host, Bill Miller, might have just chimed in.
No worries. We'll get to Bill shortly. So absolute smorgasbord of sport coming up, as usual. Being a Monday, I thought we better touch on what we've just seen across the weekend, and especially locally. We were actually lucky enough to be down at UNLV Hockey at the Las Vegas Ice Center on Friday night. So,
Yep.
And in the end, they actually swept San Jose State. So congratulations to UNLV Hockey. Great stuff down there, guys.
They did, and they played very well. I was very actually impressed. I mean, you don't know that, hockey teams play in the desert too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm from Hockey Town, so we're pretty big on the hockey in Detroit, and to see these UNLV guys out there scrapping, some international guys and actually some local guys that grew up playing hockey, I was definitely impressed.
And stay tuned for that as well. Later in the show, we've actually got an interview with Z Khan, who's the GM of UNLV Hockey, so stay tuned for that. On to the Saturday now, massive high school event. As you actually mentioned to me before this game kicked off, it's the closest you're going to get to college football was Saturday and the high school stuff. So
that's right.
Bishop Gorman absolutely killed it. So 65-21, I think the final was. So amazing stuff.
Well, actually watching Liberty play, we watched Liberty play against Basic, and, I really thought it was going to be a closer game. They played very well against Basic, and, just really their offense, their special teams, they had a couple of defensive touchdowns in that game. So I really thought that they would come and play and, make a strong presence. But, Gorman, just the athleticism of the players and, the coaching staff, and, definitely one of the top prep programs in the country.
Definitely.
So and it shows because of who they play, and they end up ultimately win against. But I mean, it's solid program.
Definitely. And just to close out on the local stuff for the weekend, so UNLV basketball, the men's on Friday night, beat their third-ranked opponent in as many weeks, and they actually improved to 7-1 over Oregon, who were ranked 15 in the country. So a huge win at MGM, I think it was, on Friday night.
Yeah, they moved it over because of the rodeo that was going on at Thomas and Mack, but still had a packed house at UNLV. To knock off a top 20 team even, and it just kind of shows that the talent they're putting together. David Wright's doing a great job of just meshing these guys together. Have the 7-footer in the center. It helps a lot. But they're looking good. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go here.
Definitely. It was a busy night for us on Friday, wasn't it? We were at the Ice Centre.
Very busy.
Also tweeting about the basketball too. So,
yeah.
For me, Friday night was fantastic. I'd never been to an ice hockey game live before, so it was fantastic for me to see that. You were explaining the rules to me as we went, so so that was good. So we were tweeting about the basketball and the big win with the Running Rebels, and then the Skating Rebels at the exact same time, getting the job done over San Jose State. So, and once again, thanks to Z Khan, the GM down there. He was absolutely fantastic. And our accreditation has been done for the season. So looking forward to seeing a lot of the Skating Rebels games now.
Well, not only that, but the fact that they're getting ready to go into a new level, get into, the D1 level, making the regionals for the first time, been around for 12 years. Which was amazing to me. I never realized that UNLV had been around for 12 years.
I actually felt a bit silly when that came up during the interview because I said a lot of people in Vegas didn't even know that UNLV had a hockey team, which is true.
Right,
and
including myself.
Yeah, and you're from Hockey Town.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it was good to see, and I mean, we're going to touch, as we said, we're going to touch on in Z's interview later on in the program, but they're looking at going D1 in the next 2 years, which is fantastic.
Yes.
And ASU have sort of set the blueprint as far as going from D2 to D1 in the last 12 months or so.
It's looking fantastic.
Move on to Sunday now, quickly. So everything's getting a little bit tight at the moment in the league, in the NFL.
Yeah.
So what sort of took your focus yesterday, and who do you think is going to grab that wild card? In both divisions now, it's such a jam-packed.
I do think the wild cards are wide open. Unfortunately, teams that you would have thought would have won did not win, and teams that you thought would have a good chance got blown out. I happened to love that Pittsburgh game last night. I don't know if you caught any of that, but Antonio Brown busted a late punt return for a touchdown, and he actually ran down to and kind of hugged the goalpost, which is actually one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's blown up on social media today too, as you'd expect. So,
it was absolutely hilarious. I mean, I literally was cracking up, but what the official, they threw flags because you can't celebrate in the NFL, the no fun league. You can't celebrate there anymore. So they actually called a penalty, and the ref came out and he said, using the goalpost as a prop. That was actually the penalty.
Well, that's one way of putting it, isn't it?
Man, I just thought that was hilarious, man. I did. To think that would be the call, and that's not in the rule book. But it was the funny thing about it to me was he actually laughed when he said it. But I know everyone got a kick out of that.
Definitely.
But Antonio Brown is a specimen, man. He's just an absolute beast on the field.
Actually caught a few of the games yesterday down at Caesars Palace in the sports book down there, so that was great. Obviously, they've got all the facilities down there you could ever need, and we're going to have to hit them up for a sponsorship at some stage. So we'll have to get back to that. And Carolina stay undefeated. They didn't look fantastic though, but they got the job done. Cam, I think, is he in your fantasy team?
He's my fantasy quarterback.
Throws another 5 TDs yesterday, so you must be pretty happy with that.
Well, 36 fantasy points with those 5 touchdowns and in the passing yards, which was great. And then, I had D'Angelo Williams and Martavius Bryant, which are Steelers, and those guys both put up, 15 plus. So they single-handedly won my 8 straight going into the playoffs.
Nice. So this is
as a 2 seed.
This is one of the main reasons why we wanted to move till Monday, wasn't it? Everything's so fresh in our mind from the weekend, and we get to lead into Monday Night Football, which starts in about 15 minutes' time. So. Obviously, traditional rivals. They're in the nation's capital tonight, so the Redskins taking on the Cowboys. What's your take on that?
Well, without Romo, the Cowboys are a different team. I keep thinking they're going to come back and play well. Washington, kind of a little bit partial to the Redskins. They got a couple players I like on the team. They got Michigan State quarterback. They have Deshaun Jackson, who's a superstar. So I like those 2 players, Kirk Cousins, and I'd like to see them win. Dallas, I'm not really sure where they're at. It's some days they play well and some days they don't. They should have won a couple of games, without Romo, but they didn't. So that division's wide open, man.
Sure is. Just going to say that. Speaking of Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State.
So they won off incredible game Saturday afternoon, wasn't it? Went right down to the wire. And with a minute to go, still had no idea what was happening. So being from Detroit, I know Big Blue's your team, but pretty happy to see those guys get over the line and win the Big Ten.
Well, we consider him our little brother, being Sparty our little brother. But when they gave up the long touchdown, I kind of got worried because it had been a really tight field goal battle before then. But what a great effort, man, by the running back from Michigan State. I mean, just did not give up. He was definitely destined to get in that end zone. He was going.
Looked like he was down a couple of times too in that play, and then he just stretches out and gets it done. So, and then I love the theatre of, as you know, I've only moved to America this year, but I love the theatre of yesterday. You wake up and you know who the top 4 is going to be, but you just don't know which order they're going to be in. And I think it's fantastic. We've spoken about it a few times this year already on a few different media outlets that we'd both love to see it go to 8, but there is something about yesterday and it being 4, and you just don't know who's going to play against in which semi-final and where it's going to be. So what was your final read on the top 4, and you think that was fair?
Well, as long as Ohio State is not in the top 4, then I'm good. I mean, if there's any way we could have got without Alabama, that would have been fantastic also. But we know that the SEC, is going to be there, unfortunately, and they're going to represent Alabama as a team. The lines came out, and Alabama minus 9.5 against Michigan State, which is a lot of points, but Alabama's playing tough, and kind of like that 49.5, I believe that it is. Should be interesting. I know the other game was 65.5 was the over-under, which could easily happen. But Oklahoma's got a solid team, and
a lot of people backing Oklahoma for the whole thing. So, what do you think there?
Well, they had one pretty tough loss to Texas, but Red River rivalry.
That was really early on, though, wasn't it? First to second game.
Yeah, no, it was actually kind of mid-season, but that's a really huge rivalry game. So it's hard to say when you have a huge rivalry like that, that a team's a clear-cut win, even though they're a better team. And, of course, Texas ended up being Baylor the last game of the year. So
there's plenty of time for those lines to change a lot between now and
they already have,
the
actually.
year,
Yeah.
so.
They
But in the
got pumped up a little
meantime, we've got moving it back to local. For people that haven't heard the show much or seen the show, what we're trying to do on this program is pump up Vegas athletes. So it's a
Yes.
Vegas show for Vegas athletes. And that brings it back to December 19, when they're actually having a bowl game
Yes.
out at the Las Vegas Bowl, which would be fantastic. It's BYU taking on Utah,
Yep.
which is a big rivalry game as well. So we're looking forward to getting our media passes for that one too. Obviously early days, and there's a lot of bowl games yet to be announced as well, but that'll be great for Vegas to have the bowl game here too.
Well, the cool thing about UNLV and Utah and BYU playing there is they both have huge followings. They will travel very well. That game will be very full, and I think that's what a lot of these bowl games do. They try to get teams that have a good travel fan base, and these guys will play a very packed stadium at a Silver Bowl.
It'll be good to see it packed out there. So.
Yeah, probably the first time this year. Well, obviously the first time this year, but
yeah. So welcome once again, viewers and listeners. Very first Southern Nevada sports news on this outlet. So looking forward to moving forward. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Southern Nevada Sports News. You've actually got Bill Miller, who's the co-host, who's on the line. He wasn't able to join us in today, so he's on the line too. So welcome, Bill.
Hey, how you guys doing today?
we're good, man. How are you?
Just getting used to this camera and radio stuff put together. So welcome, Millsy. And also joining us in studio here is McCall Norton from Jingle Jam. Thanks very much, McCall.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. And her partner Ryan's been kind enough to join us as well. Welcome, Ryan.
Thank you.
Not a problem. So tell us a little bit about Jingle Jam and what you're hoping to have out of the festive season. I know it's a big time for you guys. So
Yeah, absolutely. So the Jingle Jam is something that we decided to host and put on this year. Just a way to kind of give back to the community and get involved. It's kind of like adopting a family on steroids, if you will. And so, Halloween got over, called my husband. I'm like, I want to do something. He's like, so do it. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so far, the response has been pretty great. Our target goal so far was to take 100 underprivileged kids here in the Valley, along with their families, and just kind of provide a holiday gift event for them. I mean, we've got presents that are being donated and being wrapped that we're going to distribute to them on the day of. We've got free photos with Santa. We've got some additional items going on, live entertainment lined up for the day. I mean, some live craft demonstrations. So it's, maybe these kids may not have been able to have a Christmas in the first place, and now they're going to be able to come in and have a full experience in a day of it.
Fantastic. Tell us about yourself, how you got started in this industry.
How I got started in this industry. Well, by trade, this is actually not my industry.
It is now.
It is now. No, my background is a lot of events and local things needed here in Vegas and throughout the nation. So we have an event specialty personnel staffing agency, basically. And we do brand ambassadors, convention models, booth attendants. Sometimes on the other side of things, we do game day operations, logistics for live shows and events that come through Vegas. So it's never the same day twice, but any aspect of an event that you need, from lights to audios to personnel to staffing to setup to tear down, we do it.
So
Fantastic.
So we met at the Outlaws game.
Good old Outlaws, rest in peace.
Which was a challenge.
It was a joyful challenge.
I watched McCall and the way that she handled herself and the professionalism, and I was very impressed by that. And I saw the way that you handled it and got things done, and that's what this organization is about. Tell us about more of the other types of events that you've done in Vegas.
Oh boy. Well, obviously there's the Outlaws that we discussed, and with that we predominantly did the game day operations and the background side of it, but we also provided their promo teams, the chain games, all different items that they may or may not have needed. On the reverse side, though, there's some large entertainment companies that come through town, like Feld Entertainment. They do Disney on Ice and the circus. We've coordinated flash mobs for them. We've done mascots and costume characters for them. With live game day operations, when the UFL was here, once again, another Vegas football team that we've...
Rest in peace.
May they rest in peace, exactly.
They were the Outlaws too, weren't they?
Yeah, they were the Locos, the Locomotions.
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
In their final season, we did their operations and logistics. We also coordinated their dance team and did their choreography, and all the same things that you saw me do with the Outlaws, we did with them as well. So
nice.
It's never
and
stops.
Tough Enough.
Tough Enough, yeah. Good old Jeff Myers. With them, we did same thing, behind the scenes sort of ideas. We help them with their shows. We for probably about a good year and a half there, and we do their charity event each year, which I know that you're familiar with their charity event. Each year it's around 5. It's with All Nevada Insurance. They actually are the ones. Vinny, he's a great guy. He's the one who kind of started that, and we kept growing. Him and I got connected, and they actually donated a couple bikes to us as well this year, which we're excited
fantastic.
about.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really cool how we can all give back and forth to each other. But yep, those are the MMA fights as well that we've helped them out with in the past.
So would you be helping them with this the Cox Pavilion event that they got
I
coming up?
will not, but in their prior
no.
Cox Pavilion events, we have provided their go-go dancers for them. I don't know if you've ever noticed that they've had go-go dancers there, but we have done that.
Hadn't noticed.
Jake would have definitely noticed.
Keep your eyes open next time, all right?
So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
The best way for people to get in touch with me, whether it's for any type of industries, usually they can call me or text me, which sounds funny. I'm pretty much awake at all hours of the day. We have a 5-month-old, so let me tell you, at 3 in the morning, I'm responding to emails, and people are like, "Do you sleep?" Not anymore.
Well,
But
no one sleeps in Vegas anyway.
No,
they
don't, do they? But no, they can call, they can text, they can email our company website, which is Norton National. You can go to nortonnational.com. Of course, on Facebook, you can find us for the Jingle Jam. All of that's actually, since Norton National's putting on Jingle Jam, they can filter it through that way. They can contact me via business.
But if they want to know about Jingle Jam, you do have the Facebook page.
Yes, of course.
Which is a like page, so they can get on there, like it, and they'll be up to date on the...
You should all go like it right now.
You
Every
heard
single
it.
one of
You
you
gotta do
watching
it
this show. Yes, but facebook.com/the Jingle Jam LV.
Yeah, and then so you were talking about the families that you're helping out. So this will be a function where they can come in, actually have an event, maybe grab some snacks, pick up a present. I mean, how's it actually going to flow through?
How's it going to flow through? Perfect. So we're going to have like a welcoming committee, and then it's Santa's little elves are going to be there. P.S. Santa officially confirmed today. I had a phone call from Santa that he will be in the building. We're pretty excited about that.
What time was that in the North Pole when he called?
You know what? I didn't ask, but they were really
asked,
chippery. There's lots of noise in the background. I think the elves are working pretty hard.
Yeah, it's good.
But
Glad to hear they're working hard.
Yeah, I
That's
hope
good.
so. I mean, they're on a
I
crunch
know.
timeline here.
They're
You know what I
Under
mean?
3 weeks.
Gosh.
If you can believe that.
Yes. So they come through, they register. When they register, we have an online registration process. So that way we know what kids are coming, how many are coming, their age range and their gender. So that way when they bring their registration ticket to us, we have our little elf runners who go and get their present. So we have them segregated appropriately. So, a little 2-year-old's not getting a 12-year-old's gift, essentially. Then they come through, they get their gift, and then the whole, we're doing it like inside of a gymnasium type of like layout. So they've got the whole area. In one area, we've got the photos with Santa all laid out. In another area, we've got different live craft demonstrations that they'll be able to take home with them. A different area, we're going to have some games, maybe some face painters. So it's kind of like a free flow where they just get to come and experience it and have fun for a couple hours, while in the meantime, we're going to have the live entertainment. Another big thing that we have going on is the bike raffles, which Ryan can probably tell you a little bit about the bike raffles.
Oh, we'll just, we're going to just have people coming in. Everybody gets a present when they show up, but what we're also going to do is the main thing we're going to raffle off bikes. And so...
Oh, nice.
Our goal is 20 bikes, and we're more than halfway there.
So
Awesome.
yeah,
Awesome.
2016 Sportster or what?
That would be nice.
Going in that raffle. It is, so going in that raffle.
Or we've actually got a really cool Olaf quad. I mean,
Nice.
whichever way you want to go with it.
That's
But each
fantastic.
person who comes through gets a raffle ticket.
Right.
And so at the top of the hour, we're going to divide up the bikes and then raffle them off for each of the kids as they come through. Our goal is to hopefully have 20 to 40 bikes, and we're at 12, I believe, right now.
Oh, yeah, we're always accepting bikes.
Yep,
You can never have too many
bikes
bikes.
are a big one. Kids get really excited about bikes.
Nice. Don't steal them, though. Don't steal them.
How do we donate? How does someone donate a bike?
How does someone donate a bike? There's a lot of different ways. We have actually 4 different locations that are accepting toys for us around town. Of course, we're accepting toys all the time. We're like driving around the city all the time.
Right.
So if you need something, call us, Facebook us, message us, whichever way. We're happy to meet you and make it as easy as possible for people.
And those
Fantastic.
locations, where are those locations?
So those locations, there's Keller Williams Realty Southwest. There is Sego's Baja Tavern, Kilroy's. It's not a Baja Tavern, but it's Kilroy's Bar. That's
Bar,
off
right.
Spring Mountain, right?
Yep.
It's in that area over there. And there is a church that's right across the street from Clark High School that will be accepting toys for us as well. Plus, Nurses of Southern Nevada just had their really large event last night, and they raised over 650 toys, I believe, and I know that they're going to give a chunk of them to us.
Fantastic.
So there's a few different areas. We're pretty excited.
Great
That's
stuff.
great.
Awesome cause. Awesome cause. So is there anyone else you wanted to give a shout out while you're on here today, McCall? Or?
Normally I'd be like, "Hey, Mom," but now I'm going to be like, "Hey, Arlo, that's my little girl."
Well, I'm
So-
sure Mom will be watching. So
Actually,
hey, Mom.
I called my mom because I looked at the time. I'm like, Ryan, we gotta go. And he's like, what are we gonna do with Arlo? And I was like, Mom, come. And she's like, I'm on my way. So
Awesome.
hi, Mom. You're with Arlo.
That's awesome.
Fantastic. So just one more time, if you want to give out to the viewers, the best way to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. Please feel free. I'll give you guys my number publicly, 702-349-8897. My email is McCall, which is my first name, MCCALL, at NortonNational.com, all spelled out. You can reach us at thejinglejam.com, Jingle Jam via Facebook, NortonNational.com. Any way that's easiest for you guys.
Awesome. Now, we had a quick chat off air about your sports love at the
Here we go.
moment. So we didn't want to grill you too much, but who's your favourite sports team? I'll start with an easy one for you. Who's your favourite team?
So this sounds really terrible, but first of all, we're going to say the Locomotions. May they rest in peace. Go Locos. And the Outlaws. May they rest in peace. But no, traditionally, I've always said I'm a 49ers fan because that's my father's team. I don't follow them religiously, so don't grill me. I'm not going to lie. But nope, I would say I'm a 49ers girl.
Nice.
Fair
So
enough.
Dwayne Gabbert, you're probably happy with his long run yesterday, and
I'm so
And you're
thrilled
like,
about that.
what?
I'm very,
What
very.
just
I was
happened?
actually visiting a friend yesterday, so I was not watching football. I was in California.
you know what? The game was a lot of fun yesterday to watch, and I'm not a 49ers fan. I do like the 49ers, but not necessarily a
You
fan.
should stay on that side of the room.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm not an Oakland fan, so that's I should be safe. But
Okay.
Now, I think we've got Bill Miller on the line still. Bill, you've been very quiet there, mate. Did you have a question from a call here at all? Awesome. Thanks very much, Bill.
Nice to speak with you.
We might take a quick commercial break. Thanks very much, McCall, for coming
course.
on.
Thanks for
And you
having
guys
us.
know all the details now. So Jingle Jam on Facebook, guys. Make sure you log in. Fantastic cause. Thanks very much,
Well,
McCall.
thanks. Thanks for having us,
hey,
you guys.
thanks, McCall. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
Back after this short commercial break. Welcome back to Southern Nevada Sports News. We just had McCall Norton from Jingle Jam on. Fantastic to have her on. Awesome cause as well, so that was great.
Oh, that's fantastic. You know, there are a lot of underprivileged kids in town. You know, myself being a foster parent, and a little over 3,000 foster kids in the area. And the fact that, you know, they're reaching out to those kids is just absolutely fantastic. You know, there's a big need to help these kids, and you know, a lot of people just don't see that initially. So
Definitely great cause, and make sure you dig deep, guys. Whatever you can give is fantastic. So I think we've just got Ray Little on the line, who's a defensive back. He was at the Las Vegas Outlaws, wasn't he?
Yes,
But he's
yeah.
got some big news. He's just signed with the Cleveland Gladiators. So
Yes.
looking forward to having him on the line. Are you there, Ray?
Yes, I'm here.
how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How you guys doing?
Good. So you're back in the Bay after
Yes,
you know
sir.
spending some time in Vegas. So tell us what you got going on. I mean, tell us about the changes and like the future of Ray Little.
Well, you know, right now it's things are going pretty slow for me. Rehabbing this shoulder, trying to get it right. You know, from an injury that I had this year towards the end of the season. I mean, besides that, you know, I'm just mentally trying to stay ready for the season. I just recently signed with the Cleveland Gladiators for a 2-year deal, so that's going to go through as soon as my medical gets cleared from Vegas. So that should go through in January. I'm pretty excited about that. Going to be able to be playing again with my cousin Theron Lewis. So it's going to be fun.
So it was obviously pretty tough times for everyone involved, Ray, recently with the announcement that the Outlaws were going to be no longer. So it's fantastic that you have been given another opportunity. Was there many other teams you were speaking to, or your agent was speaking to, I should say, before you landed in Cleveland? What was the off-season like?
Well, you know, I was in talks with a few teams. Cleveland was one of them. Portland was a team. I was trying to talk to LA, but at that time they didn't have a coach. So that really didn't, you know, it really wasn't anything to grow from that. So, I mean, I'm happy that I landed in Cleveland. It's a great organization. And they run things the right way. We won't have to deal with a lot of stuff that I dealt with this past season in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was a little difficulty. You know, just really you know, working from the front office side of it. Just really not a lot of people on the same page, and I know that was frustrating for the players. You know, there was a couple guys that were in there hustling, but you know, it's just
You were one of them,
hey,
Belko.
I'm not tooting my own horn here, man. I'm just in here doing what I'm supposed to do, and you know, I just feel like that you guys deserved a lot better. That was one of the reasons why I stuck with you guys, up until the end. And I'm really happy that you guys, there's been several of you guys that have moved on and to other teams in other cities, and we've had a little bit of a challenge. The Gladiators being from Vegas and kind of the way that they left Vegas initially was a little rough. So that was one of the reasons why they thought they would be able to bring back a team, but unfortunately, just upper management just wasn't on the same page. So
you're in Philly, then Vegas. Now you're off to Cleveland, Ray. Tell us a little bit about what fans can expect to see in Cleveland in the coming season.
They can expect to see a more focused and more driven Ray Little. You're still gonna see the electric plays. You still gonna see me playing hard, but I think you'll see a little bit more focus and a little bit more of a leadership role I'll be taking on this year.
So you will be returning kicks, I hope?
Yes, yes, of course.
Yeah, Ray was special catching that ball off the net. He would he just had those moves immediately when he got that ball, and it was lightning.
Nice. So you're Sacramento City College is where you played your school days, Ray. How'd those guys finish up this year? They seen any bowl games coming up or anything like that?
No, they're not. They haven't been too good the past decade and a half. About maybe
since you left, huh? Since you left.
I think when we left, that was the last time they were good.
Yeah, okay.
They're just struggling for a while.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it seemed like it'd be a great place to play in Sacramento, and you originally being from the Bay. You grew up in the Bay Area or in Sac?
No, I grew up in the Bay Area. I was actually born and raised in Oakland, and I moved to Vallejo when I was 10. So, yeah, I'm originally from Oakland, but I went to school and all that stuff, middle school and high school in Vallejo. So I just stayed home from Vallejo.
Speaking of college, obviously the announcement yesterday of the Final Four or the top four. Who do you like moving forward into the big bowl games at the turn of the new year? What's your thoughts there, Ray? Who do you think is going to bring it home?
It's good. I think it's going to be out of Alabama and Clemson. I really want to see those two teams play against each other, but first, before that happens, they got to take care of business.
They do.
Yeah.
Alabama has a real tough task ahead of them going up against Oklahoma, and Michigan State's no pushover either.
Yeah, I think Alabama might have a little bit easier play with that, but I kind of like Oklahoma to play a really solid game there. And I am not an SEC fan at all.
Really? I hadn't noticed that in the last 6 weeks. So.
How about the last 4 years?
Exactly.
I'm not a super fan of the SEC. I feel like the decision makers in the NCAA favor them a lot, so I tend to root against them a lot, and because they're playing Sparty, of course, I'm definitely going to be going the other side of that. But 9.5 points is a lot to cover, and that's makes a big difference, when it comes down to Vegas. So, are you a betting man there, Ray?
I gamble a little bit, not too much.
He can't now. He's out of Vegas.
So I don't. I hate losing money, and once you see that money lost out of your hands, you start thinking about the things that you could have spent with that money. So it's like, nah. Yeah, I do it every once in a while, but not too much.
That sounds like Jake. He gets really upset when he loses.
It's because I don't have any. That's why. If you had money to lose, then it'll be a bit different. So
he'll be every time he asks me about a bet, he'll be like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" He asked me about 50 times.
Well, I got on his Monday night bet the other week and the overs and didn't even get close. So
I'm
not sure if I trust it anymore.
They missed like 5 field goals and didn't go for 3.
It's amazing though. Your strike rate this year is well over any of the pundits that get paid to give their opinion. So I was just unlucky that I picked the wrong night, wasn't I?
Yeah, basically the average for a lot of the top guys is about 59%, and since the beginning of this football season, I'm at 63%. So I'll take my numbers any day.
Nice. You heard it here first, Ray. You'll have to get on. Coming up after this commercial break, we've actually got Belkos bets. So Ray, just quickly before we finish up here, just got a couple of minutes to go. You're keeping in contact with many of your ex-teammates from here in Las Vegas?
Oh, yeah, I keep in touch with a bunch of them. I still talk to Ladar, and I talk to Solo. I talk to Dennis, the quarterback.
Yep.
Still. Yeah, I keep in touch with a few of the guys still. Doug.
Are Ladon and Solo going on to play?
Yeah, I believe Ladon got picked up in the supplemental draft for Jacksonville, so I think
nice.
he's going down there to Jacksonville. I'm not sure if Solo's going to be playing A1 in Arena 1 next year. I'm thinking he might try and stay close to home and play for a team close there because he got his son down there. So you know, he might try and stay close to his son. So yeah, that's understandable.
Well, keep the NAIF in mind when you guys are looking for a place to play. It's not the Arena 1 level, but it's a platform. I'm still working with in a commissioner position right now, believe it or not. We have 7 teams, and mostly in Texas, and we got a team in Mexico, which the arena has been trying to get that team in Mexico for a long time, and we were able to solidify them, which we think is huge. We also
for those
have
viewers that don't know, so it's North American Indoor Football League.
That's correct.
Tell us a little bit about. I mean, you probably can't give too much away in this particular point in time, but tell us a little bit about the league.
Well, I mean, it's very similar to the arena. The arenas that they play in are a little bit smaller. They play in anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 seat arenas. They mostly are located in secondary cities, with the exception of Austin, which is a bigger city. But we have a big event going on in San Antonio on the 23rd of April, which is to hopefully bring a team back to San Antonio. They're supporting us heavily, and we got Mexico involved. We got Mexico City is looking to get in. So we have a developmental league in Puerto Rico. So we're doing a lot of different stuff, and with coaches, with players. One of your coaches, Ty Peace, has been working with us a little bit, and we're looking forward to just doing some stuff, man, making some moves, and hopefully bring in some higher end teams, and eventually getting up to the to getting these guys the money that they deserve.
I've been watching this guy work, trying to get this thing off the ground, and it's now finally looking like it's coming into fruition. So, excuse me. So, what about if someone did want to contact you, any viewers, or if you need any
that
help?
Would just be NIF League or Network or Nation. Those are all 3 Facebook pages, and they would just jump on there and send a message. A message comes to me, and then I just send it, from there to the appropriate team, which at this point would just be Texas teams. Yeah,
fantastic. Thanks very much for joining us, Ray, and good luck in Cleveland.
Hey, Ray, I got one more thing for you.
What's up?
I want to say that I really appreciate this young man. He sends a daily scripture on Facebook, and it's really encouraging because God has been removed from so many different things. And the fact that this young man, is very open about his faith, I really appreciate.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I got to give thanks to the man above. He's done so much for me. I would not be in this position that I'm in if it wasn't for him. I mean, the road that I've traveled is very difficult. But if it wasn't for him, it wouldn't be possible. So I got to give him all the honor and all the praise. I get those scriptures every day. So it's just on my behalf. I want to share it with everybody else. I'm sharing the blessing that I receive every morning when I open that email up. So I just want to go ahead and be a blessing to other people. Maybe someone else could feel blessed by reading it.
Well, I can tell you it encourages me, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, thank you. No problem.
Thanks very much, Ray. Good luck in Cleveland. We really appreciate your time. We look forward to following you, and we might even get you on the show again sometime soon.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ray.
All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, take care, sir.
And we'll be back after this short commercial break. Welcome back to Southern Nevada Sports News. Jake Eckwood alongside Z Khan, the GM of the UNLV Skating Rebels. Thanks very much for joining us, Z.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it, and thanks very much for the media passes too. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to a partnership moving forward. So exciting times for the city as a whole, but especially UNLV Skating Rebels hockey. So talk us through the possibility of next year moving up to D1 hockey and how close that is as far away.
Well, again, as I've been saying, it's a work in progress. We've been having the meetings. It could, like I said, it could be a year, it could be 2, it could be 3. Financially is one of the biggest hurdles. We've been looking to raise money. Having the meetings with the UNLV athletics is another part of it, but it seems to be a good time for it. NHL coming in, time frame wise, 18 months. It's a good opportunity right now.
Talk us through the timeline. As we actually said tonight when we walked in, we weren't actually sure that Vegas had that UNLV had a hockey team.
Yep.
So talk us through the timeline for our viewers back home, when it started and where you're looking at heading in the future.
So the program's actually been around for about 12 years. They had some success, a good amount of success actually, a few years back, but things have they'd kind of turned down on the downside, and they wanted to really bring in a fresh staff, change the culture again. And again, with the amount of growth that we're seeing with hockey going west, it was a good opportunity for them to really establish themselves here in the ACHA currently, and then obviously with the growth process. But this last year, we brought in our new coaching staff in about February, March. You can truly see the culture has changed pretty dramatically in the 6 months we've been involved, and it's been happening a little bit faster than we actually anticipated, but things have really progressed well because the kids have really bought into it.
So ASU moved up to D1. Has there been much discussion with those guys as far as the getting everything in place and moving forward on that front?
Yeah, we have a great relationship with the Arizona State staff. I actually played there, so I know their head coach really well. They've been integral in mapping out our plan. We've been communicating back and forth with them and kind of really watched how they've done it. And again, it's kind of like almost like a big brother relationship, but they've really laid it out for us. And again, success is key. Us having success on the ice is first and foremost, and that's what they did. They established a winning team, a winning program, winning culture. So that's what we're going.
Awesome. Speaking of moving forward, and as I said earlier to you guys, our show is aimed at building Vegas sports up. So whether it be prep athletes, pro athletes, college athletes, whatever it might be. So how big would it be if the coming announcement that we all think is going to happen as far as an NHL team moving into Vegas?
I think it'd be huge for the community itself. The team. It's NHL. It's a pro team. The city lacks it right now. UNLV kind of has owned the town for a while, and having a pro sports team will only gain visibility for athletics all around. I mean, you're going to have the NHL come in, and it could open doors for other sports leagues as well. So it's good for the community. As far as the hockey side of it goes, from the youth side all the way up to college, it'll just grow numbers. I mean, you'll have more hockey fans, more kids wanting to play hockey. It gives them more opportunity, obviously, more rinks. So having the NHL, it'll have a huge impact on hockey overall in the city itself. So that'll be a big part of it.
There has been some talk of a big college match happening in a couple of years' time, North Dakota and Minnesota. I'm sure you're across that. Are you behind that? Is that UNLV, or is that the city of Las Vegas, or what's
That's actually something that North Dakota and Minnesota have been working on for quite a while, because they used to play in the same conference, big rivalry. Because of conference realignment, they're no longer in the same conference, so they look for opportunities to re-establish the rivalry, and they think a neutral site game in Las Vegas obviously will have a big publicity for them. So, and again, it's an old rivalry that goes back a long time, so they really want to make it a big deal. Vegas is a natural spot for that, and again, with the amount of growth that's happening here in Vegas with the NHL possibility, our team, it's a natural fit for them.
As we said at the beginning of this interview, it's good to see that Vegas is getting serious about hockey. It's definitely exciting times. So thanks for joining us, and look forward to the partnership moving forward. That's Z Khan, the GM of the UNLV Skating Rebels. We'll be back after this. So welcome back. That was Friday night, and fantastic to get along to the Las Vegas Ice Centre, and weren't they fantastic, Belko? They let us both in. We got our media passes all sorted out, and they're vying at the moment for a regional playoff position. Yep. As it stands right now, I was actually talking to Z earlier on today. They're sitting in 10th, and they need to make sure they at least hold that position so they can go to regionals in February. So we wish those guys all the best.
Well, these guys offensively played well, defensively played well. Their, the team presence, the coaching staff, the way that they, keep everyone together. I was really impressed. And what I'm really looking forward to more than anything else is he actually gave us an invitation to follow these guys and actually do some stuff with these guys, doing some locker room stuff and some, kind of seeing the behind the scenes thing. And I really can't wait to see that happen.
Definitely.
That's going to be exciting because, people, don't really even get into hockey that much, especially on the West Coast. And if they could actually see like everything that goes into it, I think it would just bring more awareness to the team.
Definitely, and as we mentioned in that interview a couple of times too, it's really about a partnership for us, and we're looking forward to following them hopefully up to D1, which if it's not next year, I'm sure it'll be the year after. And Z sounds like he's really passionate about the product. He's a UNLV alumni as well. He played hockey for them back in the day when no one really did know about UNLV hockey. So just want to say thanks to Z Khan, who's the GM, both the coaches, and I actually interviewed 3 of the players too. And we will be playing those interviews in the coming shows in the next few weeks. So
the one thing I thought was cool is, you know, what happened today to us. We were kind of talking to some guys from Papa John's today. And, you know, I brought up, it was kind of weird the way it happened, but, you know, there's a divine intervention sometimes. But the fact that, you know, when I brought up UNLV hockey to them and told them that they're looking for sponsors, they just immediately perked up. You know, it was kind of like, hey, yeah, you know, that's something we'd be interested in. So, Z, we are going to be working for you and see if we can get that to come through. And
definitely. And as we mentioned in there, it's only going to help matters when the NHL team, as we're all pretty confident that eventually Vegas will get an NHL team. So that's just going to build the profile of the sport in the city. Moving on to building the profile, Belkos bets. Whew, this has got a profile of its own. So let us know first off how you went last weekend.
5-2 last weekend.
5-2.
5-2.
It's on fire, this guy.
Yeah, and one of my losses was the Giants, who blew a huge lead, and I'm sure Aaron is listening to this right now and cringing, even me talking about it. But I'm not going to pick the Giants this week. 2 weeks in a row, they railroaded me. One time against the Washington Redskins, and then this past week, just kind of blew a big lead, and they had an opportunity to kick a field goal to put it back into overtime, and missed that one too. And the field goal kicking atrocious this weekend.
Yeah,
does Pro Kick do field goal kicking?
They do, Pro Kick Australia. So make sure you hit up prokickaustralia.com.au.
Yeah, well, that needs to happen because I'm watching these kickers, and I think 9 missed extra points, and
I can't remember there ever being that many in the one weekend. So.
Well, last year there was 8 the whole year.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, they did back it up and make it a 33-yard field goal where it used to be 20. But
so
anyways.
give us this weekend's Belkos bets, which I'm surprised the sponsor hasn't jumped on board already, but I'm sure in the next couple of weeks we'll have a sponsor.
Well, we're not going to talk about an app company until one of them comes aboard.
No, exactly.
And I do use apps.
And nor should we either. So.
And I just want to let you guys know that until you step aboard, I'm not mentioning you.
You heard it here first.
So anyway, I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I was very impressed with the game this past week. It is a tough shot though because they are playing the Bengals, and the Bengals are definitely a great team. Laying 3 points, Pittsburgh's getting 3 points, and I really think that Pittsburgh's kind of putting it together. If they can keep Big Ben there, they have so many offensive weapons. I mean, it's ridiculous. D'Angelo Williams, ageless at 32 years old, and just tearing up the field. I'm only going to go with 2 pro games. The college games are coming together, and we have plenty of time to move into
and analyze as well, which I'm sure you're going to do, Belko. I'll attempt to analyze, but you'll actually analyze.
And I have some bowl games that I like.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with KC against San Diego. I think San Diego's kind of wrapped it up. KC is laying 9 points. But I do think that that's going to be a pretty easy victory for them. So.
And don't forget, Belko's Bets will also feature on our Twitter handle, which is @SN Sports News. So make sure you jump on there, follow us.
The best thing about the Twitter is I'll post games during the week, which are also basketball games and an occasional hockey game.
Now, I can't believe this hasn't come up, and it's been 52 minutes so far. But last Thursday evening, Belko, I didn't want to be the one to bring this up because I know what it does to you. But we have to speak about it. Your poor Lions last Thursday night
blew a huge lead, and
20-point.
It was a little bit 20-point lead, yeah, and it was typical Lions fashion.
But I think, can the receivers get far enough down the field? Rodgers. In trouble. It's going to get there. He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone. It is caught for the win. Richard Rodgers with a walk-off touchdown.
You're joking.
Game ender for the Packers.
The best thing about that video
was nothing.
No, honestly, the best thing about it is it will be used in every single locker room across the country on how not to defend a Hail Mary.
Well,
I grew up like learning, football and playing football and everything. The way that you're supposed to play a Hail Mary is there's supposed to be at least 2 players on the goal line. So that exact thing does not happen. So I don't know that maybe these guys get to the professional level. They don't practice that anymore. But at this point, it is what it is.
The worst bit was it completely ended the Lions' playoff chances as well. But sorry, mate.
What,
don't punch me. Don't punch me.
Do you know what started their? You know what ended their playoff chances? The beginning of the season. The fact that they started.
Was that when the bye beat them 34-0? Thanks very much for joining us. First ever edition on Vegas All Net Radio of Southern Nevada Sports News. So we look forward to seeing you every Monday now between 4 and 5 p.m. I'm Jake Eckwood. This is Jeff Belknap. See you next Monday.
Thanks, sir.